hope you all are doing good. So अभी तक हमने इंग्लिश में बहुत सारे ऐसे टॉपिक्स किए हैं which will help you in reading comprehension. आज हम लोग ऐसा ही एक और टॉपिक करने वाले हैं जिसका नाम है compare and contrast. Right? Now, what is comparison and what is contrast? हमें इन दोनों में ना डिफरेंस समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है बिकॉज बिफोर वी स्टार्ट विद एनीथिंग वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द बेसिक्स ऑफ दैट टॉपिक राइट सो लेट्स जस्ट सी व्हाट इज कंपैरिजन कंपैरिजन वी ऑल नो इज when we try to tell the specifications / details of two things, ideas, scenarios, right? We already know that this is something known as comparison. Now most of the people will tell me, ma'am, फिर contrast भी तो same सही होता है वहाँ उसमें भी there are two things, ideas, हम उधर भी कहीं ना कहीं specifications और details की बात करते हैं. So how is contrast different from comparison? And what kind of questions do we get in the paper from this topic? Right? This is the most commonly asked question. And let's just see what exactly is compare and contrast. So compare and contrast type questions are commonly featured in standardized tests, but there are many more reasons for students to develop their comparative thinking skills than just passing the test. Now, some of the reasons as to why you should, understand the difference between comparison, contrast are given here. Now, these type of questions serve as good introduction for students to begin developing their higher order thinking skills. So higher order thinking skills, wherein the question is not just regarding how to, strengthen a statement or how to just simply give a reason for a statement. If you want to go beyond that, if you want to develop your reasoning beyond that, you will have to understand what is the difference between comparison, what is the difference between contrast, and you will have to develop these comparative thinking skills, right? Now, answering compare and contrast question helps students to focus closely on details in a text while improving their comprehension in the process. Now see, while we are reading something, जब हम कुछ पढ़ रहे होते हैं ना, it becomes very difficult for us to find the difference. For example, let's say आप एक passage flow में पढ़ रहे हो, right? And we all know CLAT is a passage driven or a speed driven, a language driven paper. राइट सो आप बहुत सारे पैसेजेस एकदम से फ्लो में पढ़ रहे हो वहां पे डिटेल्स पे फोकस करना इज अ बिट टैकी व्हाई एंड अ बिट डिफिकल्ट व्हाई बिकॉज हमें आदत ही नहीं होती मोर ओवर हम लोगों को इतनी स्पीड में काम करना होता है दैट इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फोकस ऑन छोटी छोटी डिटेल्स विच आर ऑल्सो द की डिटेल्स एट टाइम्स राइट तो उस टाइम पे क्या किया जाए दैट इज वाई कंपेयर एंड कॉन्ट्रास्ट में ना आपको एक आदत पड़ जाती है कि ये कुछ की डिटेल्स हैं ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड्स हैं जो हमें हेल्प कर देंगे इन आंसरिंग द क्वेश्चन हेंस दे बिकम इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू राइट नाउ अनदर थिंग द अटेंशन टू डिटेल रिक्वायर्ड इन रीडिंग टू कंपेयर एंड कॉन्ट्रास्ट हेल्प स्टूडेंट्स टू बेटर रिटेन द इंफॉर्मेशन दे आर रीडिंग नाउ रिटेंशन ऑफ what you've just read ये हम कैसे करेंगे लेट्स से आपने एक पूरी बुक पढ़ी या लेट्स से आपने एक पूरा चैप्टर पढ़ा लेट्स जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट अ बुक आपने एक पूरा चैप्टर पढ़ा आप कैसे समझोगे कि इसमें आपके लिए क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है जब तक आप डिटेल ओरिएंटेड नहीं होगे जब तक आप डिटेल्स पे फोकस नहीं करोगे दिस वोंट बी इजी राइट मोर ओवर our mind focuses on something which is important for us. So details are important for us and till the time we do not focus on the details we cannot retain them क्योंकि हम उसको भी ordinary text की तरह ही पढ़ेंगे हम जब तक किसी चीज़ को importance नहीं देते वो चीज़ हम याद नहीं करते हैं right? So in order to retain something, or in order to retain better, you need to find out the details and compare and contrast type of questions. If you have understanding of these questions, they'll help you retain things better, right? Now, knowledge gained through comparing and contrasting helps students understand how to organize information, think more clearly, and express ideas more effectively in their own writing. So see, after you clear your CLAT, after you become an advocate, you become a judge, right? There'll be many places wherein you will be drafting, judgments, cases, whatsoever it is, right? Now, for that purpose, your understanding of the language and your understanding or your organization of your own thoughts becomes very important, right? And for that purpose, specifically for that purpose, we need to understand compare and contrast questions. Why? Because they help us in putting our thoughts nicely in an organized manner and in a very clear and effective manner, right? Now, let's just see what is compare and what is contrast. Compare is to think about how two things are alike, right? And contrast is to think about how two things are different. I'll explain this to you in a very simple manner. We all know Venn diagrams. We all have done that in grade 10, right? Now, let's say this is object A. Let's say this is object B. So all the common things in object A and B, or all the common qualities of A and B, will be something that we will use to compare them, right? Then we have something known as contrast. So all the remaining things, remaining qualities about an object will be here. They are known as contrasting elements, right? Now, for example, now you have understood this. So this is compare and these two are contrast. Now, let's just focus on a few questions. Let's just focus on a simple object. Let's just take two simple objects and try to understand this concept, right? Now, the first object that we take, and this is the second object that we've taken, right? First object is, let's say, a fan. And the second object that we have is an AC, right? It is an AC, right? What is common in them? Something which is common in both of them is that they are electronic devices, right? Second element which is common in them is that they both require electricity, right? Third, they both give us clean, fresh air, right? Also, they help us during the warm days, right? So they are used in the summers or on the warm days, right? So this is another common thing between them. Then AC also has a fan in it, but that won't be included in the comparison, right? That won't be included in the comparison. Here we'll add one more element, which is that here we'll add one more element, that is both can be white in color, right? This is something silly, but you can add it here, right? When you're comparing it, right? Now we'll see the contrasting elements. So a fan has 3 or 4 wings. It has no wings, right? No temperature settings. Here we have temperature settings. Yeah, one more common thing which I have understood is that both of them can be regulated using a remote, right? Both of them can be regulated using a remote. Another thing, they both can be smart in today's world, right? There are smart ACs, there are smart fans as well, right? So this is how you can understand that the central part, or the part that I have mentioned here, this part, This part is comparison. And the remaining part is contrast. So all the elements which are here will help you differentiate, whereas all the elements which are in the center will help you compare or tell the similarities between these two objects, right? That was just an example for you all to remember what compare and contrast is, right? Now, moving ahead to some examples which are given here. So see, whenever we try and understand a concept, we always say that we need to focus on certain keywords, right? So what are the keywords which help us in understanding whether this fact will be a comparison fact or a contrasting fact? So here, wherever there is a contrast, it might start with words like although, instead of, however, but, differentiation, because they all explain some sort of a difference or a variance, right? Difference or a variance, right? Whereas comparison, here in comparison, we have to tell the similarities. So words like alike, same as, similar to, not compared with, as well as, they all form a part of similarities. I hope this is clear. Now there can be more words, apart from this also there can be more words, but this is something that you have to understand here, right? Now, steps to solve such questions. Now, how can we solve such questions is the next question. See, while I am explaining this thing, it might sound very easy कि मैम ये तो बहुत easy है, हम तो आराम से कर लेंगे. But in the paper, students do find it difficult to find out the details, right? So वहाँ पे कौन-कौन से logics आप use करोगे, कौन-कौन से steps आप use करोगे? Please be aware about those steps, right? Now, first thing first, analyzing the question. First thing first, which you need to understand is that you need to break the question down into simpler parts, right? अब यहाँ पे एक example दिया है, we'll try to understand that example. For example, the question asks a student to contrast the opinions of two critics on the use of metaphor in a poem. ठीक है? Question है कि एक teacher को कहा कि आप इस poem में metaphor ढूंढो, right? Opinion, आपने opinion ढूंढने of the critics, right? On the use of metaphors in the poem. ठीक है? This is the question. I'm really sorry I did not get it, right? So the question here is कि आपको opinions find करने हैं of the critics on the use of metaphors in the poem, right? Student needs only to focus on the parts of the text where the critic deals with a metaphor, and furthermore, students need only focus on where these two opinions differ, right? अब पहला काम क्या होगा? आप पहले ढूंढोगे कि क्रिटिक के ओपिनियंस कहाँ पे हैं, राइट? एंड जहां पे भी बात आई ढूंढने की, आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड यू गाइस कि प्रेमिसेस क्या होते हैं, फैक्ट्स क्या होते हैं, उनको कैसे फाइंड करना है, वो हमने प्रीवियस वीडियोस में करा, एंड आई वांट यू टू सी दोज वीडियोस बिफोर यू कम टू दिस वीडियो, राइट? तो वहां पे आपको पता चलेगा कौन कौन सी डिटेल्स है, कौन कौन से प्रेमिसेस है, कौन कौन से फैक्ट्स हैं जो आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, ऑन द अदर हैंड नाउ हियर सेज दैट there is something different. On the other hand, if the question asks student to compare the views of the two critics, they must focus on both similarities and differences in their answers. Why? Because the word used here is comparison, right? The word used here is comparison. तो comparison में हम क्या बताएंगे? Similarities बताएंगे. Also, we will mention a few differences because that is where we will compare how the authors are different from each other, right? I hope that is clear. Now, moving ahead to the next point, identify similarities and differences in the content. अब आप similarities कैसे find करोगे, आप differences कैसे find करोगे? Most of the students find it very easy to find differences, but they find it difficult to find the similarities, right? Now, Venn diagrams are particularly suitable for displaying comparisons. जहां पे भी comparisons हैं, ठीक है, वहां पे हम लोग Venn diagram use कर सकते हैं, as I've already explained you guys, कंपैरिजन में आप वेन डायग्राम यूज करो, जो भी सेंटर में आ रहा है या जो भी ओवरलैपिंग पार्ट है वो आपका वेन डायग्राम में क्लियरली विजिबल होगा. कैन यूजफुली display areas of differences as well as any overlapping similarities. Venn diagrams can easily accommodate a comparison of multiple ideas through the addition of more circles in the diagram. Right? अब एक छोटा सा example. Let's say we have to compare and contrast between three things. Right? Let's say हमने फैन और एसी करा. Right? Here we can add a cooler too. ठीक है? Here we can add a cooler too. और here we can add a cooler too. Now, for example, we can say that water is released from both of these, right? Then a fan is used in all of these. So a fan is used in all of these, right? So fan or the wings of the fan are used in all of these. So this is it. Electricity is used by all of these, right? They all run on electricity. Right? So this is the central area which covers the overlapping elements of the three of them. Right? The overlapping elements of the three of them. Now, let's say ये जो cooler वाला area है, ये और जो fan वाला area है इसमें कोई overlap है, that will come here. Right? So whenever there are a lot of elements wherein you have to compare and contrast between 2, 3, 4, more than 4 objects, use Venn diagrams. Because pictorial representation of anything will clear most of your doubts. Right? So pictorial representation hence becomes important in these cases. Right? Now, I'll give you a few examples here. I might just give you a few examples to solve. I'll write down the example here and I would want you guys to draw in your notebooks the Venn diagram which you feel is good for you. Right? Alright. Let's just take the views of two authors. Here are the views of two authors who have been talking about two different things. Sorry, two different things, two different people. This is author 1. This is author 2. Author 1 is talking about Mahatma Gandhi. And author 2 is talking about Martin Luther King. Given in his argument 3 to 4 details on them. Right? I'll make a Venn diagram here. This is for Mahatma Gandhi and this is for Martin Luther King. Right? This is how I write it. Now let's say both of them protested against injustice. Right? This was a similarity in both of them. Mahatma Gandhi, he fought for the rights of Indians. Here he fought for the right of the South Africans. Right? South Africans. Then, secondly, Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King both used non-violent means. So, NVM we can write here non-violent means, right? That can be written in the similarities, right? Mahatma Gandhi went abroad to study. Martin Luther King did not go abroad to study, right? Moreover, Martin Luther King was against the racial discrimination, so apartheid, and he was against the unjust treatment of the Britishers towards the Indians. Right? Another fact, let's say both of them have mentioned that Mahatma Gandhi, while he was studying abroad, he also faced racial discrimination. Right? And Martin Luther King as such faced racial discrimination. So that will also become a part of the similarity. Right? So this is how you can place the arguments like this. Right? I hope that is clear to everyone. And this is one of the best way to find comparison and similarities. Sorry, dissimilarities, contrast and comparison based questions. This is the best way to represent these questions. Now, moving ahead to the next point. Now, identify similarities and differences in the structure. Now, what do I mean by the structure here? By structure, I mean to say the length of the sentences and the paragraphs, progression of ideas and arguments, because there are times wherein a single argument there can be both a contrast as well as a comparison that you will have to see using the keywords, right? The point of view expressed, it can be informative, it can be emotional, right? All that can also be compared with. Then the use of stylistic elements such as irony, humor, emotional appeals, right? All these can also be compared. Here also you can make a comparison and you can go about it. Then the setting, the characters and the plot and the fiction, even they can be compared, they can be contrasted with. Then the use of facts and statistics in non-fiction. So whenever we are talking about a non-fictional topic, let's say there is a topic or let's say there is a passage on a recent survey. So whenever we talk about a survey, there will be a lot of facts and figures in there. And there you can use such a trick to jot down those facts and figures which are relevant for you. I hope that is clear. Alright, I'll give you an example here. Let's say the topic is climate change. And in a particular passage, there are the writings of 3 authors. Author 1 in his writing uses irony, logics, right? And a lot of optimism. Whereas author B in his writing uses emotional appeal, and a lot of historical facts. Author 3 in the same in the same essay, he gives a lot of surveys, a lot of facts and figures. Right? Now the arguments of all of these can be analyzed. The arguments of all of these can be analyzed using Venn diagram. And while you are finding the comparison or you're contrasting between the arguments, you'll fetch the crux of the passage. Right? That is how you can fetch the crux of the passage as such. Right? This is something which you guys need to remember. This is just a way of how to compare and contrast. Right? And this is the way how you can characterize different or you can differentiate between the different types of arguments, right? Even that can be done. Now step 4, finding the similarities and the differences, right? So usually what happens is that while we are finding the similarities and differences, we tend to get confused, right? Right? So here the question is finding similarities and differences in media. Now whenever we talk about such a topic wherein there is no concrete information, right? Let's say the topic for us is experiences during COVID-19, right? Let's say there is a newspaper article being talked about and there is a documentary that is being talked about in a passage, right? In the newspaper article, we have 2 paragraphs which contains only the facts and figures, and the last 2 paragraphs, they talk about the experiences of people of India, right? Now, in the documentary, we have the experiences of people from various countries, from various fields, from various age groups, right? One common thing that you can find, or one common element that you can find in both of this is experiences of the people. However, you can find a contrast in the other aspects. For example, people of various fields, people of various age, whereas here we haven't specified that people of various age, people of various field, or people of different countries were being talked about, right? This is how you can compare and contrast using different elements, right? I hope that is clear to everyone. Now, moving ahead to evaluation. Which of the text is most convincing? Which of the text best employs appropriate media? Which of the text is the most enjoyable? Right? Now, such questions can be answered using the compare and contrast table which we'll draw. Right? Because these questions are easy to solve whenever we use the comparison and the comparison or the contrasting method, which I've just told you guys, that you can compare and contrast using different elements. Right? And such questions can be solved using the comparison and the contrasting elements of a particular topic. Right? Let's answer these questions only. Which of the text is the most convincing? Now, out of this and this, if we see, just by knowing that there is more account of what people have experienced is there in the documentary, if we see from a broad perspective, the experiences of the entire world have been captured in the documentary. So for a child like me, it will be very easy to understand that the answer will be the documentary part, or the description of the documentary was something more interesting for us. Right? And it was more convincing. On the other hand, which of the text best employs appropriate media? So which one will be more appropriate, which will have more facts and figures? Right? Then questions like which of the text is the most enjoyable? So here the answer will be which relates to us even more. The author will definitely tell you which one relates even more or what are his views on that. Right? So this will be the answer to it. Right? I've just given you an example. Right? Is that clear? Now, alright, I hope you all have already understood how to solve questions using compare and contrast. इसके अलावा भी अगर आपको कोई भी doubt है, कोई भी question है, you can comment down in the comment section below and I'll be more than glad to help you all out. Right? So with this, I end the class here. If you have any doubts, please reach out to me. And with this, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.